I like having it with me, you love having it with you, and you love how it affects your life, and you want it to continue.
I think it's something that makes your heart beat faster and feel heavy in your chest. And just something you can really relate with.
Yeah, I was thinking about things that I find meaningful, and all of them had a connection to me, like a relationship with who I am, something I could relate to, so. Well, it's important to talk about anything and everything because it's like a faucet. When you turn it on a little bit, it's like a drip. You have to start talking before you can talk about the important things. It's important to get a dialogue going.
I think it's important that adults listen to what their youths have to say, and instead of trying to give advice, just listen throughout the whole thing. And if they ask for advice, then present them with it, with your own experience, rather than saying, oh, you should do this.
Yeah, because kids need to learn to be more open with everything that they're doing now. Because I find they're being more closed in with all that they're doing, and they're not letting out all their feelings and stuff. So they need to learn to have more discussions and stuff with their parents about everything.
I think getting respect from adults would open up, communication more.
Yeah, and in terms of discussion, I think what adults should be talking about to youths and what youth should be talking about to adults is not necessarily big topics, not necessarily small topics, how was your day, and then leave it there. It should be topics that aren't dumbed down for them, topics that the adult just brings up because they expect that they'll answer it. I think the adults need to treat the youths as an adult so they can see how eventually everyone's going to be talking to them.
I think first and foremost it should be the parents, because they're closest to home and you want to develop a good positive relationship with your parents.
I think the person that you should be talking to depends on whether or not they're going to have a bias on the topic. So if you're going to be talking to your friend about how your parents aren't listening to you, maybe your friend's parents aren't listening to them and they're feeling bad about that, so they give you advice that is, parents suck, you shouldn't be listening to them, they never listen to you, that kind of stuff. But so I think you need to talk to someone who's understands what you're going through, but also understands that you need to know from not a standpoint of what they think based on their experiences, what they think based on what they feel is right, because even though that what they're going through may feel right, it might not necessarily be right because there could be something wrong with it. So I think the person you should be talking to would be someone like a counselor. And some kids don't like to talk to counselors because they don't feel comfortable around counselors, because it's kind of sitting down and then talking to someone who you're supposed to expect knows everything about what you're going through. They won't know everything about what you're going through, but they'll know enough to talk serious about it. So I think that, but first and foremost, it is the parents, because they should and are expected to know what you're going through, and they should know that you're having trouble with it or that you don't understand it. So
I think, oh sorry. Continue. Well, the question for me would be, what's the criteria? Because I know, you mentioned parents and counselors, but we know that parents often aren't up to the task of talking candidly and respectfully to their children. And I know that at our high school, but the guidance office is not at all satisfactory, and I don't think that they're not capable of forming sort of a respectful bond. So I think that maybe if we could sort of extend the criteria to sort of like a respect, responsibility thing.
If you're not comfortable with this, you're not going to want to talk with
this and that makes me so much better than you. Do it and, well, I did this and maybe I can help you get to a point where you'll come to not necessarily that understanding, but a certain understanding, a certain understand of what you're going through.
Sharing things you did wrong shows you're human, and
Yeah.
that definitely opens up a dialogue.
It's important to be assertive if your child or your friend has done something wrong, to let them know they've done something wrong.
Children in that position will mostly feel like they are powerless because their parents won't talk to them. They can use that to talk about how their parents and these other problems are affecting their life and talk to it with someone else who they feel comfortable with. Because sometimes you might say that you don't feel comfortable with anyone, but you actually do. You just feel like that because of what you've been going through, and you're almost giving up. You don't want to say that anyone can help me. You feel like, no, I'm independent, no one's gonna help me. But someone can. You just have to learn how to open up and see that not everyone's gonna be like yelly and screamy. Some people will help you.
There's levels of comfort.
Yeah.
Some people you trust more.
And realizing mistakes is a huge thing to make conversations meaningful and to learn and grow from it.
Hi, my name is Tyler.
Hi, my name is Gloria.
My name is Gerardo.
My name's Albert. I think meaningful to us means that it could be something that you truly love and truly hold on to close to you. So for me, meaningful to me would be my parents. They're really meaningful to me.
Something like Remembrance Day, the soldiers that fought for us, it's meaningful.
Something that means a lot to you.
I think that people look for basically just people who are honest and that can be truthful with them. And now in society, it's really important to be non-judgmental.
Also loyal.
Yeah.
Someone to look up to, someone who will be there for you, and someone you can learn from.
I think that relationships with having a good friend is really important because I think that nowadays people can have a hard time going to their parents. So I think it's good to have like a friend that you can talk to, or even like an older sibling.
Like a priest.
Like a role model.
Yeah, having a role model in your life. If you don't have an older brother or older sister, you want a role model to have a relationship with that you can connect to and
And also
have fun
trust.
with. Yeah, have fun, trust.
It can point you the right way. That way you're not in that really bad situation. You don't get to there, you just follow the good.
And I think that also everyone kind of needs a second opinion all the time. So I think that having a good relationship with a friend is also good because they can easily relate to you. And sometimes it's not that ideal. Like you don't really want to listen to your parents. So it would be great to just have a friend that you can talk to.
They're important because they shape the way somebody's gonna live their life. If they have a role model to look at, they won't grow up to be that bad person, get into trouble, go to jail. They'll have a role model who leads them on the right way, on the right path.
And helps guide them and stuff. And I think that everyone kind of wants to be independent, but at a certain time in life, you need to know that like you probably do need help. And if you're getting help from someone, you want to make sure that person is sincere and can actually help and guide you.
Your parents are the greatest thing. I mean, they're gonna teach you anyway, right or wrong. But I hope they teach you the right because that will get you through life. And it's one of the greatest things.
And if you can't fall back on your parents, you also have other people such as coaches. If you play a sport, they can also lead you in the right way, right path.
If you have a school, maybe if you have that one teacher you like, you can talk to them about anything. They allow that, and do it.
Having something that lasts a long time, having a bond with somebody.
Having that, say, a best friend that chose the right way. Having that person always influence you into going the right path and saying no to the bad things. Always telling you and showing you what is right and what's good for you and what's bad for you.
Someone who you think you couldn't live without him or her.
was doing really bad in school, and I had picked one of my favorite teachers, and he got me, I was doing a 50, now I'm doing 75. He helped me a lot. He was also, he helped me in tutoring me in like difficulties that I couldn't handle, so.
Also, my track coach, she basically just helps the whole team like stay grounded and make sure that we balance school and our sport. And I think that's really great because I think sports mean a lot to people, especially in high school. You start to realize what sports you're really into, and it starts to mean a lot to you and whether you want to pursue it later in your life. And she just helps us remember that our marks are really important.
Yeah, same story. Before I found playing football, I knew I was going down like the bad track, and my football coach sort of put me on the right track in terms of meeting myself and football together, and I just love it, and I know it put me on the positive track for life, and I think that's a positive thing in my life.
You know, bad grades will not take you anywhere. I mean, you get those good grades, you get those good jobs. You get those jobs that will take you places. It'll be an experience for everybody.
I think what's also good about positive relationships is that the person that is like helping you out will not critique you or not like judge you, but just like help you do better.
I would say to keep the bond that you've had with the person in terms of them giving you that motivation to keep a successful, healthy life. You always want to never let that fade off and always keep in close communication with them.
Be respectful and don't try to take advantage of them.
Respect them. You know, there's that saying, give respect, get respect. And it's pretty well done.
You also want to stay committed and be honest all the time and not have to just always be telling the truth and know exactly what you're saying. That way that if you're getting help from the person, they can help you from the honest truth and not from lies.
Hi, my name is Jessica. Hi, my name is Amanda. Hi, my name is Ivy.
Hi, my name is Hardor.
I think youth are given enough information about high school to survive the first day and live out their high school life. As for homework, there is actually, I've heard complaints about high school students, grade 9 students especially, complaining how much homework they get, how different it is from grade 8 to grade 9. But if they practice maybe more in grade 8, like math, a little more math homework, a little bit more English homework, then I think it'd be okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ivy. The workload gets a lot bigger in high school and they don't seem to stress that enough in elementary school. And I think the other thing is knowing your way around the school you're going to. For me, I was really intimidated because I didn't go to my orientation. So I think if kids go to their orientation, then it's a lot less stressful.
Yeah, for me, I find the first day always seems like nerve-wracking to people, but if you go to the orientations and you do activities at the high school before you go, it kind of helps you get adjusted to the area, knowing where you're going, and it makes you feel more welcome there. And if you can go in with an excited and new outlook on going into high school instead of worrying too much about your day-to-day activities, then it ends up going smoothly. Yeah.
I think that youth just feel nerve-wracking, just like the first day, but I feel kind of excited to go to high school just because it's a new setting and it's a new place and exciting things.
I think we should start preparing youth at the end of grade 6. I know that with my school we started preparing in grade 8 and it felt really short, oh, high school's next year, here's all this information about it. If they start telling you grade 6 and they can space it, okay, so you go to high school, you have more, you have to learn more, you have 4 subjects a semester if you're a semester in school, or 8 all year. And then they could kind of introduce it slowly to you instead of being oh, here's everything about high school.
I completely agree with what Amanda said. Start at the end of grade 6 and then go deeper into it as the year progresses.
I agree with you guys too. I believe we should do it at the end of grade 6 as well.
maybe at the start of grade 7 too, just telling youth to get ready to like not go in their lockers between classes and just general stuff that they need to know about high school.
Yeah, I find maybe the end of grade 6, like, and then throughout grade 7 and 8, kind of like slowly introduce all the different things that would happen through high school. I think a main factor with like preparing youth for high school is teaching them about the different job opportunities they have. Like, I find when you're in grade 9 and 10, you don't have enough electives to really give you that idea of what you want to do. So to have like more courses that can like teach you about the different kind of programs that you could do, like hands-on stuff, it really would get you prepared for that opportunity. Like maybe do some like field trips to different types of like job places and see all the different kinds of things you can do in the future. And then through high school, you can take the courses that fit that job you want to do.
Or learning about the courses, like the electives that are offered before you go to high school, not getting into that class and think, okay, this is what we're learning this semester.
Help you prepare yourself through that path before you get to high school, so you don't get there and then get stuck not being able to take something you want to.
Well, I believe some big changes from elementary school to high school are just bigger opportunities, a bigger platform, more clubs and other things to do, because in middle school you don't get as many opportunities as high school, and just expandable things that you can search upon and do more things upon.
Yeah, I agree with Corner. When you get to high school, there's so many more extracurriculars you can get involved with. There's a club for just about everything. And then another big difference is you don't have to line up anymore. In elementary school, they always tell you to make a straight line and like walk down the hallway that way. But you get to high school, everyone just kind of walks everywhere.
Yeah, I would say like elementary school, you in grade 7 and 8, like especially with elementary, you are kind of told to be like the role model for the little kids, and then all of a sudden you get into high school and like you're the little kid, like everyone else is older than you. So at first it can be like a little intimidating, but then like it's kind of cool to see how like the age difference doesn't really matter anymore. Like everyone's kind of friends with everyone. And even though the school's like bigger, it's nice because there's just so much more opportunities to meet new people. Like you go from like a school of 100 kids to like 400 in a grade. So it's really cool to have like more people to meet. And I don't know, it's just a great new change, I think, going to high school.
What Jessica mentioned, it definitely opens up your perspective on your social life. In high school, you meet a lot of people. Your group of friends might change to the ones maybe where you share a similar interest with, but definitely you meet a lot of people. That's a big change, and just reacting to what high school throws at you.
For me, some changes that I would make, I find like growing up, I found that there's not many youth like programs, like sports programs. So like a lot of programs like in the Parks and Recs, you open it up and it only goes up to like ages 12. So it'd be nice to have some programs like yoga or like just recreational kind of soccer that's just for fun kind of stuff, to be from like 12 to like 18, and to be able to be with that youth group and like get to do activities with people that you may not really already know. So I just think like youth activities and more youth programs should be involved in the community, and like youth days where youth can get together and like just do some fun stuff.
Some changes that I would make as a mayor would be promote volunteerism throughout youth, give them more opportunities if they're in high school, and just while we're promoting them, to give them more opportunities. So yeah.
What Pernur and Jessica mentioned, opening up more youth programs for youth to be more involved in, so they get to know their community a lot more better.
Yeah, I agree with all three of what they said. The youth activities thing is a big one, because I know that here there's not, like, there's stuff for the little kids and there's stuff for adults, but nothing for like the youth age group in between. And then I would say having like a youth center where youth can just go and hang out with each other. It's not really anything.
is Ryan.
Hi, I'm Liz.
Hi, I'm Christian.
And my name is Jessie.
To me, meaningful is something that you think about on a daily basis, something that you care about and you see every day, or you want to see it every day, or you want it to be a part of your life very frequently.
For me, meaningful is working hard at something. If something's meaningful to you, then you work really hard at it, or you work really hard to achieve it, and that's meaningful. Or you just love it a whole lot. That's meaningful.
In my community personally, there's lots of activities, whether it's in school or out of school. There's in school they have things like curling, basketball, hockey, field hockey, football, rugby. They have all the sports, all the main sports, and then even some of the weirder sports, like I said, curling, which is actually really fun. But and then out of school they have relatively close to us. There's canoeing, kayaking, and then there's the library nearby, and there's just lots of different things that kids can do. They don't necessarily do them, but they're there.
Well, I know that there's a peer outreach program that I was a part of here in Georgetown, but it spreads from Georgetown to Milton. At our school, there's football, swimming, soccer, hockey, tech crew, drama clubs, like improv, and there's a drama council who work closely with tech crew. There's art club, photography, yearbook, and the list just goes on and on for a while.
Yeah.
So.
In my school, there's lots of like sports teams and just like intramural stuff, so you don't have to do it competitively, which is great because I love sports, but I'm terrible at them. And like music stuff and performance arts and all that people like, and it's good because we're a smaller school, so it's nice that we have all of those activities that people can do. But in my community, we don't have as much. We don't have like a community center or any sort of youth groups going on, so there's not much to do, and we have to make our own fun, and that gets us into some trouble sometimes. So we need a little more activities, I think. I think youth should be involved in like making decisions because that makes us feel more valued when we get to be part of making decisions. I don't know what we would make decisions for, but if we got to have like more of a say in what was going on, we'd feel a little bit more valued, and if we feel more valued, we probably wouldn't do dumb stuff that got us in trouble.
Yes, I really think it's important because if you're not involved if you're involved with the community, you learn different skills, techniques. You learn when things happening, where they're happening. You meet new people. I've gotten out of my experiences, I've gotten lots of job offers out of them. I do community dinners, and I've gotten asked to come help out in restaurants' kitchens, and babysitting jobs for different meetings. I'll do daycares for them, and then I get babysitting jobs out of them. You get so many different opportunities coming out of your volunteering jobs. I find I don't think I'd be where I am now if I didn't volunteer.
I think it's important for youth to be involved in ways that they want to be involved. So if you like kids, maybe you could volunteer to teach kids at a camp or at preschool or anything like that. Or if you enjoy sports, you could help teach kids how to play a sport or something like that. Something where you're helping out in a field that you like, but you're also helping out your community. I think it's a great idea for youth to be working with professionals, not just because they're going to get experience and it'll be easier for them to get jobs in the future, but also they'll get to build relationships with more adults, and maybe even if their parents aren't as helpful with some things, they can talk to that person about whatever they want. And it's just really important to get more committed adults helping kids, and kids trying to help adults.
Well, I agree with what you said about working with professionals. I think it's important not to have them like smother the kids. Like, you could have like a youth group and have like one adult be a part of that like youth committee to help improve the community, but I think sometimes we have like too many adults trying to be helpful, and that's not so helpful because then we don't get to try to learn how to do things on our own. So we need guidance, not babysitters, because we're youth and not kids.
I think it's important for students to work with people younger so that they can, you know, get them ready for what's coming, I guess, like not in a threatening way, just, you know, get them ready for the real world. I know that it really helped me having all my older cousins, because they're all like 10 years older than me. So they were like my peer group, and they would, you know, give me heads up on high school and middle school, what to expect. But I think also working with little kids so that they can kind of understand what I think their parents went through with them. I think that's really important, and, you know, giving kids someone to go to. And I think it's really important for them to work with people older than them to appreciate the journey that people, like the different journeys people have been on. And I think it's important, especially now, for youth to respect people who are older than them. I think they take them for granted when really they don't understand the part they play in their community.
I think there should be more programs for different communities of youth because it's important not to feel isolated when you're a teenager because that can be a big problem. So I think there should be more like not inclusive, community focused, like LGBTQ asterisk, you know, groups for natives and immigrants, so you don't feel like you're the only one going through a certain thing, because not everyone's going to understand that. So we've got lots of youth groups for sports and arts, but I think we need stuff so we can talk about more serious issues, and it can help kids feel a lot less isolated and alone, because that's a big problem, and you don't want to feel isolated and alone because that feels really crappy, and I've been there, so I'd rather there be more programs so you can be surrounded by people who, you know, understand what you're going through and can help you through that.
I think that is important for kids to get to talk to people about things and not just have things to do like sports. What I think would be a good idea is even if a school or some organization could set up something like online, because kids are doing everything online now. And so if there could be like almost an anonymous chat room for different subjects that kids can go on and talk about their problems. So they're talking to other people in their community, but they don't actually have to say their own name. So if they have a problem with drugs or alcohol or something, they don't actually have to come out and say it to people. It's anonymous. So they can talk about it and get the stuff off their chest and get advice, but they won't let other people know.
I think meaningful participation is doing what a person wants, when a person wants to, which sounds so kind of self-centered and really naive, but like it's participating in the activities in which you choose and not ones that you're forced to do. Like in school, like you're not meaningfully participating in your grade 9 English class. It's just not happening. But when you get to choose your activities and choose what you're involved in, you're more likely to be meaningful, and then you're more likely to just enjoy it. So that's meaningful participation. To me, it's just doing what you want when you want to do it. Just something like that.
I think meaningful youth participation to us means pretty much having more things like MAP, the Mayor's Action Youth Committee, where it's just a committee of youth and they go and they talk to the mayor himself or someone along the lines of him, and they voice all of their opinions that they've collected from all of the different youth around them. I think having more setups like that where it's where you have a group of youth and then they all go, or they have one leader and that person goes and they talk to the head of the bigger committee.
Basically just like something you're passionate about. When a kid's doing something that actually means something to them. So if you enjoy filmmaking, then you go out and make films, whether it's with a group of people or on your own or whatever, or if you're passionate about a sport, you would go out and do that sport.
And I think having more opportunities for youth to have their own committees, because there are committees where there's adults as well, but very few youth who don't have as much of a say as the adults do. So I think at the very least, if they don't have their own committee, there should be more youth, maybe to level out the playing field, I guess, like have a certain amount of adults and then have a certain amount of youth to match that, and make sure that they have an equal say, and they're respected just as much as a 60-year-old who's been on the committee for 30 years. So I think it's important for youth to feel respected and think altogether needed, because a lot of us feel like, oh, they don't need us, like we're just a bunch of teenagers, like what are we gonna do? But if they have that reassurance that they are important and they do play a very important role in their community, I think they will get the kind of responses they will get will be much better. More youth will be involved because they know they're being listened to, instead of having one of them who just kind of sits there in the corner just to say that they're there.